Okay. You must stay with me. So I can't come down. I say stay with me because lots of thoughts are very conjumbled. Also, just stay with me. I'm doing this not before bed for the first time. Actually, wait, no. I did do this not before bed, my last video. But I wasn't ready for bed. Like, I still had to eat dinner, but I was ready for bed. I was in my PJs. Let's go. Oh, Lord have mercy. You may be wondering, Eliana, why are you drinking caffeine at 7:20 p.m.? If I'm watching this and I'm still in the midst of my, it's not an addiction, but my caffeine habit, then I have no right to judge. If I'm jumpy, forgive me. Maybe I shouldn't use this on caffeine. What's wrong with me? Hold on. I'm actually like psychotic right now. Okay. I don't think I witnessed anyone doubt themselves as hard as I've witnessed a man doubt himself. I've come to this conclusion this past week. Now, I'm not claiming men as a whole doubt themselves harder than women. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in my life, my short 22 years of living, I have never had a woman in my life, I've never witnessed a woman in my life doubt herself as hard as I've witnessed a man doubt himself. I can't speak for the whole population. I can speak for the people in my life. The people in my life do not represent the whole population. That being said, the men in my life doubt themselves to the point of emotional pain, not within them, within me. Meaning, like, to witness them or to hear about it, to hear about the doubt, to hear about the insecurities, to hear about this belief of unworthiness, it pains me. It literally pains me. Like, it's sickening. The pain that I feel. Me. And I say me because my relationship, men as a whole, has not always been pretty. It's not always been very smooth. I've carried lots of beliefs, and I've carried lots of stigmas, and I've carried lots of negative emotions. But I think love and empathy is helping me heal my relationship with men. And I think healing my relationship with men is helping me heal my relationship within myself. And somehow, it being able to do that for me, like, wow. It's like, wow, because, I mean, if we think about it, if we really think about it, there was so much negativity I carried around my relationship with men. Even just, like, the idea of it, the potential of my relationship with any man. And this is any kind of relationship, whether it's platonically or not platonically, or within family, or within my peers, you know, my classmates, my whatever. Anyone a part of the male species. I'm coming into that interaction, I'm coming into that connection, I'm coming into that relationship with notions already in my head that you and I, we won't connect, we won't get along, we're gonna be divided, we will never be aligned, just simply because you're a man and I'm a woman. Or come into the relationship or the connection thinking you will disappoint me. It's guaranteed you will disappoint me or you will hurt me. And I wouldn't say I felt anger. Maybe it is anger, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's definitely something. I don't know if it's anger. I think it's the closest I felt to anger, maybe. My complicated feelings about men. I think that's the closest I felt to anger. But I don't know if I would call it anger. I think there's lots of room for it to develop into anger, which is why I don't want to call it anger. But the path that feeling is on, it could easily develop to anger. I do want to say that. Every relationship that I've had with a man where I've witnessed that doubt, the pain, I feel like the pain is stemming from, I told my friend this one time, it's so easy to visualize the little kid in somebody. And I don't know what triggers it, but sometimes, like, within that friendship specifically, sometimes he'll say certain things and instantaneously I will picture him as a little kid. Or sometimes he'll express a certain emotion and now I'm picturing you as a little kid. Or, I don't know, sometimes he'll have, like, a look on his face and I'll picture him as a little kid. Whenever I picture that little kid in him as he's displaying these feelings of doubt and unworthiness, it makes me, I feel like maybe I could use the word angry here. I don't know. It makes me angry to think about the people who convinced him that he isn't worthy of love. Oh, that's when it gets me. Because it's like, who made you feel that way? And now I want to do everything in my power to rewrite that. And I already have these beliefs about how you can never truly erase something that happened in your childhood, or you can only heal from it to a certain extent, or the act of healing doesn't really include like a memory swipe. He will have always felt that unworthiness at the time. He can't erase that. I cannot ever erase that. And now I want to do everything in my power to convince him that that situation or those situations in the past or whatever happened in his childhood is incorrect. Whatever someone told you, whatever someone did, it's incorrect. It's not true. It's such not everyone should have children, man. No, I retract that statement. Actually, I don't retract that statement, but I retract that statement applying to this because, I don't know, maybe it isn't linked. Maybe that situation specifically isn't linked to parents. But then it's also like, I think about my childhood, and I think about every obstacle I'm going through now that is linked to my relationship with mom and dad, and how much anger should I really be holding? Which is also something that I'm trying to... discussion I had with someone about how I should really tap into my anger, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do that or not. But I'm trying, like, will somebody have a perfect childhood? In the sense that, is it truly possible to not experience any obstacles in your adulthood that are linked to your childhood? Is it possible to not experience any childhood trauma? That's a genuine question I have. I don't know. Is it possible? Is it possible to grow up with the perfect childhood in the sense that you are not going to deal with any issues in your adulthood that stem from your relationship with your parents? Is that possible? I don't know. And then it's like, if it's inevitable that you will mess up somehow, or something that you do as a parent will affect your child negatively in their adulthood, then how much anger can you really hold towards your parents? Or how much anger can I really hold towards my parents? I think about that a lot. Is it inevitable? And then thinking about that makes me really scared to be a mother. Because we know how I feel about guilt. We know how guilt affects me. I do not want to be a guilty mother. I will be a guilty mother. No, wait, let me not put that into existence. I can see myself struggling with guilt if, God willing, I am blessed with motherhood. I can see myself struggling with guilt 100%. I don't know. Okay, I wasn't supposed to talk about motherhood in this. Point is, love and empathy really, really heals. This book by Maya G. Wolf, she has a poetry book called Being a Woman, and this is one of the poems in the book. Being a daughter is helping with dinner while your brother plays video games. Being a daughter is healing your mother's trauma while also healing your own. Being a daughter is forgiving your father over and over again. Being a daughter is the lifelong burden of carrying the heavy weight dumped onto you by your elders, like clothes that fit too big. I read this, and I want to explain this correctly. When I read this, I felt that it encompassed the kind of guilt that I've been struggling with really, really well, in the sense of being put in situations where you are being assigned a task that is benefiting someone else, and you're completing that task, yet feeling like you're still somehow doing it wrong every single time. Never feeling as if you're doing it correctly, ever. And then feeling guilty for, you can't say not doing it because you did, but doing it the way you did, knowing you could have done it better. That's why I say I want to let go of this guilt, because a lot of it, if not all, can be applied to, like, what could I have done, or what could I have changed? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. It's very, like, this feeling, it feels like untangling a ball of yarn. Like, it's a simple task, but it's very tedious, very time consuming, very overwhelming. Like, you're just sitting there. You ever tried to untangle a ball of yarn? You're literally sitting there for hours just trying to find the root of the issue. What is the knot that's really making this all complicated? That's what this feels like. And then it's like, sometimes I'll feel like, oh, maybe this is it. Like, I'll have a realization and I'll think, oh, this is what's gonna unravel everything. And then it's like, nope. No, it didn't do anything. It just unraveled a little bit. I'm big on mental exercises. I was thinking, let me open up a new note. Let me write down every instance, every relationship where I felt I was unworthy of the love that they were giving me. Let me write it down. I don't know what it would do, but let me write it down. But then as I did it, I was like, wait, I don't know what it would do. What is that gonna do for me looking at it on paper? Wait, no, seriously, what is it gonna do for me? I don't know. So I went on Google and I searched up how to make myself believe I'm worthy of love. And I went on Reddit, don't kill me, and some guy on there asked, how did you learn to believe you're worthy of love without having to earn it? And I was like, yeah, That's a great question. And I read the answer that was under it, and I was like, oh, it made me think. Okay, I think I've had a revelation that healed some of my guilt. I have my laptop in front of me, an article on philosophybreak.com. Aristotle on the 3 types of friendship and how each enriches life. The 3 levels of friendship. 1, the friendship of utility. These friendships are based on what someone can do for you or what you can do for another person. It might be that you put in a good word for someone and they buy you a gift in return. Such relationships have little to do with character and can end as soon as any possible use for you or the other person is removed from the equation. 2, the friendship of pleasure. These are friendships based on enjoyment of a shared activity or the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and emotions. This might be someone you go for drinks with or join a particular hobby with, and is a common level of association among the young, so Aristotle declared. This type of friendship can again end quickly, dependent as it is on people's ever-changing likes and dislikes. And 3, the friendship of virtue. These are the people you like for themselves, who typically influence you positively and push you to be a better person. This kind of relationship, based as it is on the character of 2 self-sufficient equals, is a lot more stable than the previous 2 categories. Unsurprisingly, it is this final level, the friendship of virtue, that Aristotle lauds. While friendships of utility and pleasure have their place, it is the rare yet pure friendships of virtue that are the greatest contributors to the good life. Learning these 3 levels, very informative. This isn't a theory. Is this a theory? I don't know, this isn't a theory. Philosophy I already knew, so this was something that, this is new information for me, but this isn't what was like. Okay, Aristotle thinks loving is more the essence of close friendship than being loved. To illustrate this, he compares the love we feel for close friends to that a mother feels for her child, reflecting on the delight mothers take in loving. He says, for some mothers, hand over their children to be brought up, and so long as they know their fate, they love them and do not seek to be loved in return. They cannot have both, but seem to be satisfied if they see them prospering, and they themselves love their children, even if these, owing to their ignorance, them nothing of a mother's due. Aristotle then connects this kind of selfless love, wishing the best for someone else for their sake, to the best kinds of friendship, writing, now since friendship depends more on loving, and it is those who love their friends that are praised, loving seems to be the characteristic virtue of friends, so that it is only those in whom this is found in due measure that are lasting friends, and only their friendship that endures. And then Aristotle does not limit the formation of such friendships to non-relations. They can take place between spouses and family members too, though he does add some qualifications for relationships that include inequalities, such as the parent-child relationship, suggesting that such imbalances should be taken into consideration when reviewing the contributions of each party, which, yes, parent-child relationship should never be balanced. Now, this was so validating to hear, because the question of whether I would rather love or to be loved is always a question on my mind. In every relationship, always a question on my mind. A lot of this I'm like sorting through in my head as I'm recording this, so that's why there's a lot of silence, but it'll all be cut out, I guess. I think a part of me always thought I was loving in an unhealthy manner, because I always preferred to love than to be loved. Not saying I never had the desire to be loved. I think everyone has the desire to be loved. I think a part of it could be unworthiness. Whatever part of me that believed I was unworthy of love could play into me not having a desire for it as a form of protection. But I also just think another part of it is me gaining more satisfaction with the act of loving than the act of being loved. And I always thought that was very unhealthy. Like maybe all of it was a form of protection, or I always thought my lack of desire to be loved, or I don't want to say my lack of desire to be loved, because I think we all have a desire to be loved, but I don't even know. I always thought the idea of me gaining more satisfaction from loving another human being instead of gaining more satisfaction from being loved by another human being was unhealthy, and stemmed fully from this idea of me feeling as if I couldn't be loved or I didn't deserve to be loved. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So now, reading something that challenges that idea is a very interesting experience. Reading anything, one of my favorite things is to have my mind changed. One of my favorite things is to experience people writing, whatever, challenging my mind. I love to have my opinions changed. So it's a very intriguing experience to read this in good light. Yeah, very interesting. Prime example, my friendship with Sethi, that was so complicated just because deeper feelings were involved. involved. I kind of want to pull up the entry. I read it yesterday. Okay. I feel like I have to pull this up. I love the feeling of when all my writing just slowly connects, because this is something I struggled with in my friendship with Steffi, and I don't struggle with it as much anymore just because of my beliefs, and I've kind of made peace with it, but it's not necessarily because my belief has changed. This is January 26, 2025. This is taking you into my heart, but hey, we're on FaceTime yesterday and you're completely oblivious to how I'm feeling. You're talking, I'm putting up my flowers in the bathroom and Z-Rose is playing. Everything you're saying, it's not even about me or us. It's about you, and it's making me feel all these things. It's like you're taking me into your brain. I had to put everything down and sit down on my bathroom floor and just listen. I love you insanely, and the possibility that the amount of love I have for you is infinitely never ending makes me love this even more. March 27, 2025. This is when I challenged the idea of selfless love and question whether it really was selfless. To be loved or to love, the question forever on my mind. I used to admire the selflessness behind the choice of wanting to love someone over being loved, until I've loved you, and now I choose it for purely selfish reasons. To love you is an experience that has shaped my heart, it's awakened my soul. I think the universe gifts us with experiences, and if I could, I'd choose to receive this gift over and over again, to witness my perception of love reframe in real time over and over again. This is November 24th, 2024 at 4:25 p.m. I love you. I just don't think I'm doing it the right way. I don't think it's supposed to feel like this. It feels very unhealthy sometimes. I know it's not all butterflies and rainbows, but I don't think I should feel like this. I think I'm doing it all wrong. And if I'm not doing it wrong, maybe I'm just doing it with the wrong person, but I want you to be the right person so badly. This is one of those moments where I question the idea of how healthy this love was, for the pure reason of not expecting anything or not wanting to necessarily receive anything due to the fact that I was giving love or wanted to give love. This is March 24th, 2025. I love you. I want to tell you so you can understand how special you are, but I don't want it to feel like pressure for you. You don't need to do anything with it. You simply deserve to hear it and understand it. There was a point where I gave up the idea of hearing it back, and I simply just had this desire to make sure he knew. I did not even have any desire anymore to hear it back. I didn't need to hear it. I just wanted to tell him. And the only thing that was stopping me was the fact that I didn't know how well he would receive it. And I didn't know if it could be fully understood, like genuinely understood, that I didn't want to hear anything back, or that I wasn't saying it so that I could hear anything back. I just don't know if that would be truly felt and truly understood. Said he's calling. He just called me. I sent him the video that started all of this, and then I sent him the article, and we're talking about it because it reminded me of him a lot for different reasons that I'm talking about right now. This is October 2nd, 2025. Fairly recent, because I can't imagine myself willing to give up loving you. Loving you feeds my soul. I've never experienced anything like it. It feels nourishing, like a supplement healing me from within. It's so hard to explain. I wish I could give it to you. Wish you could see yourself and love yourself this way. Maybe then you'd give yourself more grace. The experience of loving you has changed me. I feel like I can see myself better. Like I have this new sense of clarity when it comes to living. I feel like I see love everywhere. I realize everything has the capacity to carry love now, and everything has the ability to be loved. There's no point of living when without it. It's as vital as oxygen. I can never understand why I was deliberately running the opposite way my whole life. Why I was purposefully making it harder to breathe. I always want to remember this experience. When I'm old and reminiscing is my pastime, I want to be able to see this clearly. I never want it to grow foggy. I think that's part of the reason I write it all down. I always want to remember it this way. I think I also fear I'm going to need proof. Proof that I was able to fall as deeply in love as I am now. Just in case I try to convince myself that it's not possible in the future, or that it's not for me. That I would be better without it. I never want to feel that way again. It's the worst form of evil against oneself to reprieve yourself of love. I never want to be back in that mindset again. This is a little bit later on in the entry. I don't know how you feel about me loving you. I don't know if you want me to. Sometimes I wonder if you ever think it would be easier if I don't, or if it doesn't affect you either way. I know I don't always express it, so maybe you don't feel it, or maybe you do feel it, but it still doesn't affect you. Part of me still questions if this is normal. Maybe I'm feeling too deeply or too much, but I want to feel it all. I want to want you. There were many moments where I simply felt like it was so wrong or unhealthy for me to want to love someone as much as I do, or for it to feel like such a selfless act, which sounds wrong when I say it, not like thinking something shouldn't be selfless, but I don't know. I always believed it was unhealthy or it was directly linked to my feelings of unworthiness, which is why I always questioned the idea of unconditional love and whether or not it truly existed or whether or not it was supposed to exist, whether or not it was even healthy to exist. And then it's like now I'm reading for the first time this idea that is completely challenging that. And it is interesting, to say the very least. It is interesting. Yeah. It is interesting. This is one of those examples of love feeling so much greater than what it truly is displayed as today. It just feels so much deeper. Like this idea of love is what's making this world go around. As cliche as it sounds, I think is so true. Like love being the purpose and the foundation of everything. And I'm not talking just... I don't mean to roll my eyes, but I'm not talking just romantic love. I'm saying like love as a whole, which reminds me, I was on Reddit yesterday. I didn't purposely go on Reddit, but I went on Google and I searched how to make myself believe I'm worthy of love. And then a Reddit came up. Somebody asked, how did you learn to believe you're worthy of love? And somebody gave a phenomenal answer. They said, love is not something you earn because it is not a transaction. It is not a reward for being good enough. It is the essence of who you are. The very idea that you must do something to be worthy of love is a lie that society, your upbringing, and your past have planted in you. You have been conditioned to believe that love is something external, something you must seek out, something you must prove yourself worthy of. But the truth is simple. You are already loved. You ask how to believe that you're worthy of love without having to earn it. The idea itself is flawed because love is not about worth. Love is a state of being. When you are truly connected to your own essence, you will realize that there is nothing to prove, nothing to achieve. You are love, and love radiates from within you. That's what I mean. That encompasses my whole feeling of love is so much bigger than make it seem. You are the essence of love. No, wait. The truth is simple. You are already love. I wish I could quote this. Adept Engine 5608. I don't know. I don't know if this is his words or her words. Sorry. I don't know if this is copy and paste from another article. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You are love and love radiates from within you. That was so healing to read. This Reddit comment was so healing to read. Because what? Huh? Now, the 3 different types of friendship. I was watching a video of somebody explaining and defining these, which is what started this whole stream thought train. She was explaining how oftentimes we may assign a friendship, or we may think a friendship is one of the categories that it is not. For example, we may think a friendship of utility is a friendship of virtue, or we may be seeking aspects of a friendship of virtue within a friendship of utility, and then we fail to receive those things. I think I've maneuvered within every single connection, relationship, friendship in my life with the idea that it must be a friendship of virtue, which means I have repeatedly failed to receive what I was expecting within my relationships or my friendships or my connections. And I think that has played a part in leading me to believe that I was unworthy of receiving those things, or I was unworthy of receiving the love from those friendships or from those connections, when maybe it wasn't even a friendship that was capable of producing those things or built upon producing those things. Does that make sense? And now I'm also thinking that I played a role of trying to give those things because I've also constantly felt like giving those things whether or not I was receiving them, and they weren't being accepted or they weren't being received fully. So now I'm questioning how much of my guilt is me assigning the wrong label to the wrong friendship. How much of my failure that I feel within friendships is me trying to play a role in a friendship that I wasn't even supposed to be playing. Which means, is that failure not even real? And how much of that unworthiness that I may have felt within that friendship is the result of me assigning the wrong level to the wrong friendship? I hate my life. Now, I don't know, but me being able to have that question in my mind right now feels really good, despite the fact that I don't know. And I'm not even worried about figuring out the answer right now. I don't even care. He said he's gonna call me back. I'm gonna answer. And hey, he's just reading the article right now. I told him he has to read it before I explain everything that I was feeling. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the end of the video because I kind of just want to sit with this. I don't even want to dissect the question. I just want to sit with this feeling because I kind of just love the idea of having this question in my head. I just want to enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, that's honestly it. I don't even know. Like, I had a whole note of me just like writing a bunch of things down because I was gonna make this video before, like a guilt check-in before I came across this video in this article, and it was just gonna be me sitting down and like asking myself a bunch of questions. I don't know, which essentially I guess is what I'm doing now, but they weren't questions that felt like this. I was wondering if how much rejection. Oh, he's calling me.